The next Valar on our list is Arome, the huntsman. During the Years of the Trees, and after most other Valar secluded themselves,
That's so cool,
Arome
that
still
art.
hunted in the lands of the world on occasion. He first came across the elves after they had awoken beneath the stars, and he befriended them, calling them the Eldar. As the most powerful of hunters, Arome openly defied Melkor, alongside his hunting hound, Huan, who he would give to Celegorm, one of Feanor's sons. He also had a great steed named Nahar, and a horn called Valaroma that could be heard over all other horns. The Eldar could hear this horn when he was hunting Melkor's servants. His wife was called Vana, the Ever-Young. She was the younger sister of Yavanna, and had the greatest influence over the flowers in Arda, and her servants, Melion and Arien, had aided her in tending flowers in her gardens. The next one is a grim Vala. Mandos, or Namo, was the doomsman of the Valar.
He looks like, what are you doing? He looks like the guy out of, I don't know why I'm clicking. Mr. Manhattan. Mr. Manhattan out of Watchmen. If you've never seen Watchmen, well, watch it. Let's get back into the video. Can we all agree that was extremely random?
Who resided in his halls where the dead would go. He pronounced the will of Iluvatar when commanded to by Manwë, but he was not malicious like Melkor was. He simply provided the judgments of Iluvatar. Some of his more famous actions were imprisoning Melkor after his first war with the Valar, announcing the doom of the Noldor that banished the elves from Valinor, aiding Beren in coming back to life after being moved to pity by Luthien, and giving half-elves the choice of mortality or immortality after the coming of Eärendil to Aman. Mandos also had a hound named Gorgumoth that guarded his worst prisoner Melkor. His siblings were Urmo and Nienna. His wife was Varier. Varier the Weaver made tapestries of history, and they would cover all of Mandos's halls as time and the ages went forth. After the death of her husband Finwë, Meriel was returned to life to weave the fate of the House of Finwë for Varier. Nienna, the Lady of Mercy, was responsible for all grief and sadness throughout Arda. Her part in the music of the Ainur was one of great sadness, and so sadness came to be in the world. She mourned for the world, and for the destruction that Melkor wreaked upon it, but it was also her pity that helped free Melkor after 3 ages in captivity. She dwelt in her halls near the halls of Mandos, and her tears fed the 2 trees of Valinor. She mourned for their destruction also, and through her tears one last flower from the trees came to be, and so the sun and moon were made from it. She was Olorin's mentor, and wore a grey hood, so it is likely also that Gandalf wore grey in reverence to his teacher. Now we come to Urmo, or Lorien, the Master of Dreams. He was responsible for dreams, desires, and visions. He and his wife Este dwelt in the gardens of Lorien.
This is so cool, I didn't think it was like this.
It was here where Meriel passed away after giving birth to Feanor, and she was given peace. Later, while Varda wanted the sun and moon to ever be aloft in Ilmen, the atmosphere, the prayers of Urmo and Este allowed for day and night, so that sleep may be had by the people of the world. Varda heard these prayers, and she made it so that while the sun or moon was in the sky, the other was in Achaea, or the encircling sea. Este, Urmo's wife, was responsible for healing the wounds of the hurt and weary. She dwelt in Lorien on an island of a tree-shadowed lake, and oftentimes the Valar would find refreshment in the fountains of Urmo and Este in Lorien. Melion also served Este for a time before departing for Beleriand. However, Este did not go to the councils of the Valar, and so she was considered by the other Valar to be the chief of the Maiar, and not one of the Valir, or ladies of the Valar at all.
Interesting.
Now we come to the last 2 Valar, Tulkas and his wife Nessa. Tulkas was the champion of the Valar.
I was going to say, this is 4, right? This is my choice?
Descend into Arda. When the 2 lamps of the Valar were created, Tulkas wedded Nessa and had a great feast. Afterwards Melkor destroyed the lamps, and this surely angered Tulkas. Before the creation of the elves, the Valar deemed that Melkor should be imprisoned, and this happened to Tulkas' delight. During the war for sake of the elves, Tulkas wrestled Melkor, and bound him with Anganor, which had been forged by Aule. Even after Melkor's release from imprisonment, Tulkas stayed distrustful of this dark lord. The last Vala on our list is Nessa, the dancer, and she is ranked least among the Valar. She was as fast as a deer and danced in Valinor, with deer behind her.
Damn.
During her wedding to Tolkas, she was robed in flowers by Vana, and afterwards their dwelling was a place of mirth and revelry.
She's my favorite.
She, like many other lords and ladies of the Valar, desired peace after the flight of the Noldor to Middle-earth, and so the hiding of Valinor took place. Among these 14, or 15 Valar if you count Melkor, 8 of them are considered Eretar, the High Ones, and greatest...
I mean, listen, right? I did choose him, but now that he's in Lesser, I'm sticking with my boy Olmo. Call it having an ego, I don't care. Olmo, I love swimming. Olmo loves swimming. I have long hair. Olmo has long hair. What other similarities do we have? Blue's my favourite colour. Sky blue, because it's the colour of the ocean and the sky. He's got an O and an M in his name. I have an O and an M in my name. You know, we're pretty similar. Pretty similar people. But yeah, let me know, out of the Valar, who you are.
See what I did there. Valar. I shall list them and the lesser Valar on screen, as well as their family tree for you all. As they had started off spirits, there really had been no familial connections, but in Iluvatar's mind, he saw them as such. The same could be applied to gender, as the spirits really only took on gender when they came to Aman, as they saw fit, through their own temperaments and clothing. From the Valar, we may reflect what we are like as people. Though we may weep like Nianna at times, we should also find the mirth and joys of Nessa the dancer. The Valar act as certain character archetypes of Tolkien's Legendarium, and they inspire us and the characters of the works alike. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed it.
Damn, that was a good video. GG's. Shout out to the men of the West. Wow. Tolkien's just a genius, God bless his soul. There's so much life in the myth of Lord of the Rings that it almost seems real. I don't know, Moonbeam mate, if that's a quote you found somewhere, but if you've made that, you're a genius. I should genuinely have that behind me. Like, that's how good that just sums it up perfectly. The movies touch on like 5% of the lore. I genuinely don't even think 5%. The Valar cannot create life without Eru's blessing. This applies also to when Gandalf dies fighting Durin's Bane. The Valar did not bring Gandalf back. Eru did. Also in the Silmarillion, Orlais creates a dwarf only to be reprimanded by Eru, who reminded him that he alone can give free will, as only he wields the flame imperishable. However, Eru does imbue the dwarves with free will after Orlais offers to destroy them and sees them trembling in fear of being killed. That Orlais's a savage, bro. Aule. I don't know how to say his name. Aule. Sorry. This makes the War of the Ring look like child's play, right? Be sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 300 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Links in the description to support me further than just subscribing. And other than that, have a great day. And God bless. See you next time.